In this video, we're going to work in Visual Studio Code in SQLite, and we're going to sort of reconstruct a database that's been saved as a bunch of CSV files. So I have a folder uh, that I called Classic Models, and I have under there Classic Models CSV file zip, and then going to extract that. So this was in Downloads, Classic Models. And I'm going to right click, I'm in Windows 10 and extract that. And this will bring up a variety of CSVs. We're not going to extract them all, but you'll get the idea. Okay, so there they are extracted in a folder within the folder I'm working in uh, Visual Studio Code. Now I want to make a database file. So I'm going to click on Classic Models, make sure I don't want to make it in the CSV file. I want to make it in my Classic Models file. So I'm highlight that, hit my new file, and I'll call it, what else? Classic Models.db to identify it as a database. And then it brings it up. I have the extensions. I have two SQLite extensions installed, the one by Alex CVZZ, and then the other one here by YY0931, and the SQLite 3 editor. And so when I choose to open a DB file, it's bringing it up in this the SQL 3 editor mode, and down here that is implemented. Now I have no tables, so it's showing no tables. I'm going to make tables. Okay. So I want to go, but with the database open, I'm going to go to other tools. I'm going to import. This will later say import and export, but I have nothing to export at this stage. Import CSV. And I'm going to go into my folder here. I'm going to grab customers and say open. Now I'm opening it to import it, and it's going to turn it into a table. And the header, the first row in the CSV, the header row was the names of the properties. So that is sort of assumed. So I should let you know that that was a property of this. And so I'm going to call it customers. And then, as it says, press enter to confirm your input, or escape, I want to enter. Okay. And then there is all of that CSV file. Here was a CSV file with the first row, the names, and then the data. And now here I'm in Classic Models, and it inserted in this table. It made everything text. That's kind of standard when you parse a file. Everything is considered to be text. But they've named a number of these things number, customer number, sales rep employee number. So those two things, I think those are the only two things I see that are number. Those two things, I should change the type. And this first one is also going to be the primary key. So I can right click here and say change the type. And that'll give me down here a place to change the type. It is currently text, and I can change it to integer and primary key. Okay, so I'm establishing not just its type, but also its role as the primary key of this table. And then scroll down and hit the commit. And it's writing a sequence of like SQL things: create a new table, map any old stuff in the table to a new table, rename the new table, get rid of the old table, all sorts of things. But for me, it's just nice, know what to click on and change. Okay. So now the customer name is the primary key. Let's go scroll across: customer name, contact last name, contact first name, phone. address line 1, address line 2. Some students ask me what that was. When you write out an address, it may take more than one line. 110 Mockingbird Street apartment, and then on the second line you might say apartment 34 or something. So a city, a state, a zip, a country, a sales rep number, and a credit limit. So there was one more. That should be a number. Okay. So let's right click and change this. Well, let's change the credit number first. That's the easy, just change the type. And I can put that here. Let's say real or float or decimal. Will it take decimal? So it took that as decimal. Now here, I want to see if I can add that. Well, it's not going to take it because I don't yet have employees to reference. So for now, I'm just going to change its type to integer. And then maybe if I bring in later employees, maybe I will change this to references employees. Okay, but for now, let's just do a simple change on this to integer. So if you're doing just the simplest thing, you can type right there in place. Otherwise, there was a place down here where you could do more typing. And if you really want to do something fancy, then you'll edit the schema. So you'll go to schema and then edit. Okay, we're not doing that. How do I get out of editing the schema? I hit edit and I didn't want to close the schema. There we go. Okay, so I have the customers in and I have changed 3 of the types, one to integer primary key and the other another one to integer. It's actually a foreign key referencing another table, but I don't have that other table in yet, so I'm not ready to say that it references another table that I don't have in the database yet, so that will probably confuse it. And then I changed the credit limit type to decimal. Okay, now let's bring in orders. I think I'll bring in next. So that is another on the database. Other tools, let me close this CSV. On database, other tools, you see now I have some export. I have a table that I could export, but I'm going to import CSV. I'm going to go into this folder. This time I want orders. And I'm naming it orders up there, up here at the top. And enter. So now I've created an orders table. Here's my orders table. I went down over here to the section in the Explorer. The SQLite 3 editor tables are part of the Explorer at the bottom. Clicked on that new orders table. And let's change some types. So I'm going to change the type here. I'm going to do that down here because I have more to type than just integer. I'm going to say integer and primary key. And I get a little more room down here. And don't forget to commit. What else is a number here? So date, I'm just going to leave, required date, ship date, status, comments, customer number. There we go. So that I want to change to a number. Now this does reference customers. So let's first just change it to, well, let's see what I can do down here. Let's peek at a different SQL script and see how they say, here's something that's referencing another table. Integer references. So let me see if I can steal that and put that down in here. But I want to, what's my other table? I want to reference customers. And I think it was customer number. Um, let's try small c customer, capital N number. I hope that's right. And let's see if it takes that. So integer references. If not, we'll just go with integer. And then we'll edit it took it. Okay. So, all right. So it now knows that these are customers, and it even does that sort of databasey thing of what's really in the table is the number, but it also sort of lets you know some other more meaningful to humans property, in this case, the customer name. Okay. Anything, order number, we changed to the integer primary key, order date, required date, ship date, status, comments, customer. Okay. So that was us bringing in the customer table, and we added a primary key and noted another thing as a foreign key. Now, let's write some queries. So bring up the query editor. I want the information from the orders that have shipped. So let's say select star from orders where the status, I believe it was, the status is shipped. So these are all and it was a capital S. These are all the orders that have shipped. So there are a bunch of them. And let's say that I want to count how many orders have shipped. How many orders have we shipped? 303 orders that we have shipped. Okay. So what else? Let's go to count the orders, whether they've shipped or not. Let's count the orders um, and sort of order them by the customer number. So like I want to count, here's some customer, that customer has a number. I want to know that customer has given us 3 orders or something. So let me go back to the orders table, and let me start a new select here. Select, what do I want to see? I want to know the count of orders and the customer ID. So I have customer number. I should give the right name. I'm going to get the customer number. And I'm going to count the order number. From orders, group by customer number. And maybe I want them ordered by the count. So let me say this, put that on a new line and say, give this a name as order count. I don't want to say order number, that would be confusing, order count. And that's just some word I'm making up. And then this doesn't always work. I want to order it by, I'm going to try order count. It depends when does it do its renaming. Does it do its renaming that I can use it in my order by, or do I have to order based on count? And I've seen times where you needed to say count, and it's claimed not to know what this was at this stage. But let's see. If not, we'll replace this with count. And I probably want that descending. I want to know our people who've ordered a lot from us first. And it doesn't like something, no such column customer number. So I screwed something up. What is the name of it? Customer number from orders. Customer, Customer. Oh, no, I don't have the B in number. There we go. All right, try again. So there we have customer 141 ordered 26 things, 124 ordered 17, etc. There's a big tie for 5. Okay, now we want to bring in the actual customer name. So we're going to turn this into a join. So we're going to interjoin orders on customer. One thing is that they share, the two tables share customer number. So, well, I'm going to switch it to customer name anyway. So let me make another copy of this. That's working. Let's not mess with it. And let's switch over to customer name. If I want customer number to display, I'm going to have to say which one. Okay, let's put it in just to show. Okay, so now I have to say customers, customer number. Okay, and now I need another comma. Let's just put it on another line. So I'm getting the customer name, the customer number, but the customer number is shared by customers and orders, so I have to specify which one. And counting the order number as order count, I'm going from orders inner join on customers on, and then I need the orders dot customer number equaling the customers, I think I said customer number. And let's just see it all. So select customer name, customers, customer number, count order number as order count from orders, inner join customers on orders customer number equals customer number, group by customer number. Okay. Group by customer name, customer number. I have to group by all of the, and this is now has to be customers dot customer number. And let's see if I've succeeded. There we go. I have succeeded. I have the name of the customer number, and the order count in descending order. Okay. Now let's say, oh, I like this. I want to, here I am in the sort of, I want to take this table that I've got here, and I want, that's good data. I want to export that as CSV. And here it is, the customer name, the customer number, the order number, the customer name, the customer number, and the order count as a CSV. And then I can save that. So over here, this 2 over here in my Explorer icon is saying I don't have anything, 2 things not saved. I don't have the CSV I just exported saved, and I don't have my query saved. So let's do some saving. Let's do save all. It wants me to save this CSV. I'll say customer order count. That's a good enough name for me, .csv. Okay. And then now it wants me to save my queries, and I'll call it classic models queries. Okay. What else? So let's also say, while I'm exporting, one more export. Let's export orders in a different format. So we already have uh, the orders in the CSV. That's how we got here in the first place. But we can export it. Got too many things open. Um, all right, but here I have the orders table and other tools. There it was. Where was it? It was just down here. I'm used to looking at over here, more towards the right, and it was over on the left because it wrapped. Other tools, and now I want to export this. What I have highlighted is what it will do as JSON. And here are the orders in a JSON format. So JSON really stands for JavaScript Object Notation. And it really supports sort of what JavaScript will call the array and object notation. But so this square bracket represents an array or a list, and so there'll be a number of things, and then the curly bracket represents uh, an object, if you will, or at least as far as JSON is concerned, an object. And so that's denoted by the curly brackets. And then within there, we have a set of key value pairs. So the key was order number, and then here was its value, order date, here was its value, etc. down the line. And again, I exported, it didn't save it. So if I want, I could do a save as, or I'll do a save all. And then this was a JSON I'm saving, and what was it? Orders.json. I'm not paying too much attention to where it's going. I'm just showing you that you can export. Um, I think that's all I wanted to show you on this one. Um, so we imported data as a CSV. The CSV had the standard CSV format of values separated by commas. But one important thing was that we had the names of our properties, our fields, our columns, whatever you want to call them, at the top. And then we could bring that in by using the other tools, import CSV, turn that into a database table. We can change types, including adding roles like the primary key, change the type, add a role like a primary key, and we even, on the orders table, we added a references. So we gave it a role of a foreign key. And then we did some querying and we did some exporting. We could export query results. So it doesn't have to be a table. It can be the result of a query that we export. And we can export in multiple formats in CSV and in JSON we showed. Okay, that's it for this one. Thanks for your attention.